Okay, so let's talk a little more about Python. I think many of you probably know a little bit about Python. That's why you're taking this class. So they're really just and you can read all about Python in like Wikipedia and other resources. So just a couple of things that I find interesting that you might want to know. The first thing is a little bit about Python history. Python was actually created a long time ago. It was created in 1991, which what is 28 years ago. And by this guy, I'm not even trying to going to try to pronounce his name. He is Dutch, and he has been quote the benevolent dictator for life for Python. And what that means in the open source world is really that these are, but the benevolent dictator for life is an individual who has, who's usually the inventor of particular open source project, or he is probably the most important decision maker for that particular open source project. Uh, so the inventor of Python was the benevolent dictator for life until, well, 2018, and he stepped down from that position. Um, if you want to find out why, I'm sure you can search for it. It's a pretty interesting read. Another thing that I want to point out is the language is called Python because the inventor at the time was reading the script of this comedy group, Monty Python's Flying Circus. And when he invented the language, he wanted a name that was short, unique, and slightly mysterious. And since he was reading Monty Python's um, script, he just figured, okay, Python is kind of a cool name. So that's what he used. There are a couple of major versions of Python. One that you might have heard a lot is Python 2.0. It was released back in 2000, which was kind of almost forever ago in the life of computer science, but it's still being widely used today. So its end of life support is not until next year, but it's quickly going away. So uh, so that's why we're using Python 3 in this class. Python 3 was released in 2008. It was a major version, so it was not backward compatible with 2.0. Um, so now the latest version of Python 3 is really Python 7 Python 3.7.3, I believe, which was just released in March, so last month. So when you install Python, just download the latest one. Okay, and there are some links at the bottom here that has some interesting facts about Python that that if you're interested and have time, you can read about them. All right, so why do we want to learn Python? Well, I guess you all have different reasons, but generally the reasons that people want to learn Python is it's relatively easy to learn. Okay, notice that I underscore relatively. So Python, just like any programming language or computer science in general, is probably not going to be easy for many of us. But it is relatively easy compared to some other languages. So that's good. That's why it's popular. Another good thing, actually great things in my opinion about Python is it's actually a very readable language, and I hope you'll find that too as you learn more about Python. So unlike many other languages such as Java and C++, which allows you to write very unreadable code, but it will still run correctly, In Python, if your code is unreadable, it won't even run. So this is actually really, really good for beginner programmers. And Python is it's a very popular language. So there's a link here that links to this widely quoted um, index. Not sure how to pronounce that. Tyobe, maybe. This actually measures the popularity of a programming language. So Python has been consistently ranked the top 10, if not the top 5. Currently it's ranked number 3, oh sorry, 4 in popularity, pretty close to C++. Um, so it's good. It's popular. It's well supported. Many people use it. Many people know it well. So that's always good, and it's been growing. Um, so if you look at the change here, Python last year compared to Python this year, it's been growing faster than most other languages that's top ranked. Okay, and then another reason, and another good thing about Python is there are actually a lot of jobs for it. So this is another resource that I dug up. That Python is actually one of the most in-demand programming languages. And actually, if you sort it by job rankings, Python is really the number one currently, or well, this is posted August of last year, so half a year ago. It was really the programming language in most demand by employers. So that's good, and I guess that's probably one of the reasons for some of you to take this class. And the reason that Python it is so popular is it's actually it has a very large collection of libraries that can do many useful things. And I believe you heard some of these things. It's like big data, data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learnings, and stuff. So in those areas, really many people use Python to do their work.